What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another Old School Wednesday review. Today we're going back to the 2000s sports theme and taking a look at the football or soccer sub-theme, depending on where you're from in the world. This one gets interesting. It's the Championship Challenge that set 3409. It had 294 pieces, 12 minifigs, came out in 2000, and it retailed for 50 US. Now nowadays this set's going for 129 new or 52 used, and I got some opinions about this. This was a very interesting time for LEGO, and this was a very unique set to say the least. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start us off, we'll begin by giving you guys a 360 view of the stadium. As you can see, it's quite sizable. It's about 2 feet long and a foot wide, or about half a meter long and about a third to a quarter of a meter in width. And there's a lot of interesting play functions with this set. This was great. I didn't get this when I was like a kid, but if I did, I would have played this all the time. Let's actually break down the features a little bit more and giving you guys a little bit more of a bird's eye view. This will kind of help to kind of show off those features a little bit more. One other thing I wanted to mention is you'll notice it has a number of different little logos like Lego.com, Adidas, Arctic, Mindstorms, some football. Like, it's just Technic. Like, they got all these different little basically logos, or you know, for different companies, like they do when you go to a stadium, and I just thought that was really ingenious. So how you kind of work these features. Okay, you see this? You can spin it around any which way you want, and I'm not particularly great at this. Goal! I thought that was so cool. And then let's say if you miss, or let's say you have the goalie. He stopped it, right? Then you can try and do it to the other side. Okay, what I do like about this though, another thing that I like about this is, let's say you just gently pass it to the goalie. Okay, now the goalie has it, right? You pull this back, bang, you gotta go from the other side. And what's really cool about it is this is how it kind of works. Like, it's not a spring shooter, but it works the same way as a spring shooter. And oh no, I think the playability for this is great. Now, if I were to put this on display in a mock, I would definitely not have these pieces. I would take these off and I'd somehow figure out a way. Maybe I'd put, like, you know, a blue stud in there. You know, those blue little mini Technic pins. I'd put that in there and then I'd stand the soccer player in there like so. But this is supposed to be played with, so obviously you want to keep these in. And I was very, very surprised how well this works. Like, sometimes with LEGO features it's a little difficult and it doesn't work too well, but this just works great. I mean, it's kind of slow-mo obviously, but I can totally see how you could play with this. Like, it works good. You know, if you had one person on one side and another person on the other, it's a working, functioning little soccer field. Anyways, that's the set itself. What we're going to do now is go over the 12 minifigs that are included. Here we have the first 3 minifigs, and as you guys can see, they're very, very, very basic. But what I did appreciate about them is they all have numbered backs, and I thought that was a nice inclusion. They didn't have to do that with how simple they are, but they did. But all in all, they get the job done. Let's now move on to the next 3. Here we have the next batch. I will say that the goalie is actually my favorite minifig out of this entire set. We got the 2 clones. You'd never get away with doing that nowadays, but they did that back in the 2000s. 90s just gave us the same minifigs. What is nice about the 2 clones though, they at least have different numbers, so that's a positive. The goalie's number 1. Let's now move on to the next batch. Here's the next batch of clones. It's great. Like literally, anyways, this guy has a black hair, so I guess he's a little bit different. I just thought it was funny, just the lack of trying. However, you get 12 figs, so you can't go wrong. All different numbered backs. Let's not spend any longer on these dudes. And here we have the final 3. As you can see, they're a little bit better than the smiley faces. However, we have got these faces. And the other team, they all have different numbers. Although this guy actually, they have different numbers to their team, but it is identical to the green team, which is fine. You know, you can continue to have the same number as long as it's the other team. So that actually is accurate. Anyways, those are the figs. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. This set, it was unique. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. I think it had a pretty good play function. I think it worked pretty good. If I were to put this in like a mock or something, or a city, I think I'd take off the little shooters, you know, and somehow just have the minifigs and the grass. I think that would actually look pretty good. I wouldn't keep these on, but you need them. You need it for the play function, right? So all in all, I think that it was decent. This theme wasn't super popular, like it didn't last very long. Part of the reason why I think is they didn't have named athletes in it, but that might have hurt it as well because, you know, 20 years later, most of those athletes people wouldn't know, right? As you know, maybe they know a couple of them if they're into the sport or if he's really famous, but the average soccer player, they probably wouldn't. And I think that, I don't know how you'd really make this theme popular, but I really hope that sports comes back. I mean, I'd love to put a football, like American football stadium in a Lego city. That would be amazing. I really hope it comes back, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this and on the sports theme itself. This set in particular as well, if you like it, if you don't. Any areas you think they can maybe improve on it. I just think that all in all, this was very unique. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. I mean, I think this looks like a decent all in all set. But yeah, that's all I got for today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future old new sets that we do. I love doing them, and this is part of the reason why. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.